Thanks for stopping by and welcome to my April earnings video. In this video, we're going to go over all of my stock photography and video earnings for the month of April 2022. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Joel. I'm a photographer and a filmmaker. I have also been a stock photography and video contributor since 2020, mostly in just an attempt to see if I can turn it into a mostly passive income stream. If you're digging this content, then show it with a like or even subscribe for more stuff like this. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So as you can see, I'm kind of doing something a little bit new this month. I'm doing this report from actually where I do my editing for both video and for my stills and stuff. So yeah, so I don't know, I'm just trying a little bit different, trying to streamline this whole process because these videos are taking a little longer than I'd like them to take with all of the editing. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about, as I normally do, kind of go over all of my earnings, basically from the best to the worst, and then kind of talk about my total earnings. And then, but in the process, I'll also go into the dashboard a couple times here as well. So before I start anything off, I like to give like a prelude to April. April was kind of an intense month for us personally. My wife and I, we've been dealing with a lot of procedures and surgeries and all that kind of stuff. I was actually surprised that I got a few things uploaded this month, despite all of the distractions and visits to the hospital and stuff. Yeah, so most of those actually were with Adobe, Dreamstime, WIRESTOCK in 2020, and I managed to get a handful of videos up too. So it's always fun to find your licensed stock photography or video clips kind of out there in the wild and being used. And this month, or the month of April, I actually managed to find a couple. They're actually all from the same website, so I guess that's kind of cool. I guess they liked my style or something. So anyways, here's the first one. This article was the 15 best things to do in Northport, Florida, and there's a few of my pictures, and actually these were taken there. So some clouds, Paso Grill was another, that part of the area, and of course another shot of Paso Grill Beach, which is kind of cool. So that's always fun to see. So now let's talk about earnings from stock images and videos. Starting with my best performing stock agency first, which was actually the agency that shall not be named this month. That came in first place. And as usual, I ended up with a lot of rejections on this site, which has been something that I'm actually ongoing into the month of May when I'm recording this. So it's a little bit frustrating. I did manage to get a few things uploaded. I actually had about 13 images accepted, which brings my portfolio to 657 images. And I had a total downloads of 18 for the entire month, which is actually about average for me. My total earnings were $24.98, which is not too bad for what I'm used to in that portfolio size. One thing to note though is that I've been splitting my uploads across this site as well as uploading through WireStock, because WireStock also uploads to the same site. So that's another reason why I've only had the 13 images accepted. The main reason I do that is because I'm just trying to see if I can take advantage of the higher commission rates that I can get through WireStock if an image is selected. And I mean, who doesn't want more money? Of course, we'll see how well that turns out. It's been kind of an experiment I'm doing just to see if I even get the same number of downloads or not. So in the month of April, I also had my second video sale ever with this agency, which is pretty cool. I wish there'd be more frequent. It wasn't too bad. It was $22.50, which was the bulk of what I earned. So I'm definitely happy for that sale. It was this video right here. So this clip here is from Rincon, Puerto Rico. It's an editorial clip. It's just a cool little like restaurant that sits on the top of a hill overlooking like Domes Beach. Now, just like last month, I only had one on-demand sale. It was this image here of the Sierra Nevadas in the Owens River Valley in California. The rest were subscription sales, like this wildlife image here of a great heron in Florida mangroves. This was a commercial image. Or this shot here from Salzburg, Austria, which also was commercial. And of course, here's that shot from earlier of the clouds. Next up is Adobe Stock, and they came in second place for me in April. There I've got 570 images and 51 videos. Total downloads were 8, and I had $6.60 in earnings for the entire month. That brought me a revenue per download of about 83 cents, which is about average for me there. I have to say that the 660, I mean, it's a little higher than normal for me, which I'm pretty happy with. It's, you know, I don't average a lot with Adobe Stock, but when I do get image sales there, they're usually okay, you know, at closer to $1. Like that RPD is pretty close to what I average there. But I also did manage to add a bunch of stuff there this month. I added, I think, 33 images and 8 videos. Most of my sales were for 99 cents, like a few of these here, like this one here of Kauai, or this shot here of Lake Tahoe in Fanette Island, or this one here of it's really cool, like little koi pond in Zen Garden. And I had a couple that sold for 33 cents, like this one here, actually taken at my dad's house up in Washington State. Coming in third place this month was 2020. There I have a portfolio of 708 images, and I had a total of 17 downloads and earned $4. My revenue per download was 24 cents, and that's actually a little disappointing because my revenue per download has been a little bit higher there. Actually averaged closer to like 38 cents over the last year. You may have noticed that in my 2020 video that I did an overview video, and so yeah, this is a little disappointing, and it's kind of the second month it's been disappointing like that for me, so I'm hoping that's not a trend. Anyway, I did manage to get quite a few images uploaded, or at least for me, and that was 42 images. A couple of those were model released, and I also got a couple that came back also not cleared, like this image here. So I'm not really sure what's going on with these not cleared images. I think maybe this one was because maybe I had uploaded it on social media, because we used it to promote one of our travel articles that my wife and I have. We have a website called wanderinghartz.com. That's the one thing I can think of, but it's a little disappointing again that they do that. This is typically why with 2020 at least, I generally try to upload new images to there first, and then after a few days it kind of clears their system, and then I can go ahead and just upload them to the other sites as well. So there's a little tip for you if you end up doing anything with 2020. I did manage to enter a couple of their weekly contests, which I've talked about before. I do like their weekly contests. I think they're kind of interesting. It's a little fun. It's always nice to see, you know, if people vote your stuff up. I guess it makes you feel good. The best one I did was I came in like top 29%, and it was this image here. This is in Bishop, California, actually, and it's that sun going down right over the Sierra Nevada mountains. I actually had a bunch of first-time sales on 2020 this month, which was pretty nice, including, I'll just go ahead and show you a few of them right here. This first one is from Santa Monica, California. This cup of coffee was just one of my old images I'd taken like years ago. This is from Hawaii, actually from the island of Kauai, and it's actually shot of my dad taking pictures of the goings on. And this one here was actually from Oktoberfest. Again, some more of those back catalog images I'm trying to get up. And finally, we got this shot, Balboa Park in San Diego. So coming in fourth place was WIRESTOCK this month. And if you've been following these videos, you know I've been doing kind of an experiment with WIRESTOCK. I mentioned a little bit about that earlier in the video. You can check out some of those videos over on the side here. I managed to have quite a few images uploaded and accepted on WIRESTOCK in April, which is pretty darn cool. And that brought my portfolio to 434 images and 39 videos. I ended with 10 downloads overall, and that brought me in $3.47. So that's an RPD of 35 cents as well. I actually wanted to take you into some of the sold images, take you into my dashboard on WIRESTOCK and kind of go over, show you a few things. Okay, so as you can see in here, one of the first things I wanted to show you was this right here. This was that, I talked about Shutterstock earlier. This shot here of this cattle guard, it actually sold for $1.19, which is way higher than I'm usually getting in Shutterstock. Usually they're like 10 cents maybe. So, but again, this is something that can work. You know, I've been uploading half of my stuff through WIRESTOCK and half of it through here. And then you can also see I've got a few other ones here. Some Adobe stuff that came in at $1.11, 84 cents, a couple for 31 cents, and another one of those for 30 cents through Deposit Photos. So again, this is about what I average on Deposit Photos. Is usually about 25 to 30 cents. But remember, these are also all after the 15% commission that WIRESTOCK pays. So, I mean, to get that 30 cents for that is still not, I think that's a pretty decent thing. So again, it looks like you're getting a little bit of a higher commission due to the higher contributor level that WIRESTOCK gets with Deposit Photos and also with Shutterstock. And finally, the other part of my earnings from WIRESTOCK was 60 cents, and that was from referral income. So again, thank you guys for anybody that signs up to my referral links. I appreciate it. I do want to note one other thing though. I had originally 11 downloads when I checked at the very end of April. But I guess one of them must have been returned or something. I'm not sure, because I went from 11 downloads to back to 10 downloads. And of course I had lost another $1.19. So all I can guess is that it was like a return, which I've actually had on I've had before, like on Pond 5 and stuff too. But being $1.19, I'm guessing it was probably one of the Shutterstock ones. So I'm not sure how that works, but it would have been nice to have the extra $1.19, but you know, I don't have it. So, and if you're interested in trying out WIRESTOCK, definitely be sure to watch those videos first, kind of make yourself a little bit more familiar with it. And then if you still decide to do it, yeah, just ask you use my link below. I've got one in the description, and I would appreciate it. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into our last section here, which is the dishonorable mentions. So I also had some sales on my other stock agencies that I directly contribute to, like iStock, Dreamstime, Deposit Photos, and 123RF. My total sales for all four of those were $4.96. So here's a couple of the images that were sold, starting with this one here of Shipwreck Beach on Kauai, Hawaii. Next up, we have Waikiki Beach, another one from 123RF. This next one, I want to take you back into Deposit Photos and just kind of show you some of those too. So let's go back into my dashboard. So yeah, you can see here that we're looking at April here. So starting April 15th was my first one. And again, see that you get 30 cents, 30 cents, here's a 15 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents. So these are what I'm typically averaging in Deposit Photo, and you can see they're just all sorts of craziness here. We've got the shot of Liquillo Beach in Puerto Rico. There's that steak image, which you may have, if you've been watching these videos, you've seen this one sell a few times. It never sells for much, but it sells. This one here of, this is actually in Nevada, driving on a road trip I took a couple years ago. This one was, again, editorial, as you can see there. And it was of the Don Cesar Hotel, which is in St. Pete Beach, Florida. And then here's another one from around the June Lake area. I cannot remember the name of this peak, but it is just next to June Lake in California. You can see the kind of average, and if you go back further, you can see again, I'm getting 25 to 30 cents. So I just thought that was kind of interesting, especially considering what we talked about earlier about getting those extra sales with WIRESTOCK. If you remember last month, I actually had a sale, one or two sales through WIRESTOCK that were actually for like 35 cents. And that's again after their commission on Deposit Photos. And as you can see, that's which is significantly higher than what I'm normally getting. Now, I wish it was more than just like one or two pictures, but you know, if it's something that you are interested in, that could be an advantage, you know, because it takes forever to get like to rank up through the tiers on Deposit Photos. So just some interesting things there. Next up, let's keep this going and go into Dreamstime, where I actually had a few more first-time sales, like this one here of the La Coca Falls and El Yunque Rainforest in Puerto Rico. And I had this editorial shot from Treasure Island, Florida. Both of those sold for 35 cents. So now with iStock, I've actually been trying to get a lot of my images uploaded there because I've just never uploaded there at all. And where I had a few images on there through partner site, like through IM, but I've been trying to pull all my images down from IM on their partner site so that I can re-upload them directly on iStock, mostly just because I was getting all these 4-cent sales, and it was just really, really like defeating me because they're all partner sales through IM. So in the meantime, I've been just uploading a whole bunch of stuff there. I did manage to have a total of 74 images in April on there, so I've got a long ways to go to match some of my other portfolio sizes, and I don't have any videos up there yet either. Problem is I'm having to upload and keyword everything again because iStock Getty uses a whole, they have like different keyword phrases versus what like all the other sites seem to accept. So it's just been kind of an ordeal because I can import it in and it'll take all my metadata, but then I have to go back through and like find new words to use. So, which is not what I'm trying to do. I'm always trying to do everything that's smooth. This is why I use like a stock uploader like Microstock Plus, and that's also why I've been doing this experiment with WIRESTOCK, because I'm just trying to find ways that can ease the, getting things keyworded and not, because I mean, that's the bane of my existence is keywording. I hate it. Some people love it. I'm just really bad at it. I'm just slow. Nonetheless, I had 2 sales with iStock Getty, which is not much to say, but I just thought I'd just mention just to show you a little bit here. This first one, of course, is, you've seen this one before. This one seems to sell every single month. It is the Hidden Beach in Puerto Rico. It's actually Playa Escondida in Puerto Rico. And of course, this next one is that same palm tree that we saw earlier, that from Santa Monica as well. And finally, I didn't have any other sales on any of the other 6 agencies or platforms that I upload to, including Pond5, LMA, or even Fine Art America. And of course, that's always like really disappointing. I don't know if you can hear that now, but it just started just pouring down rain. So I hope it doesn't pick up in the mic too much. April ended with just kind of being like okay for me. Although year over year, it was a $12.78 increase over 2021 for me. So that's a pretty significant, but it still just didn't feel like a really good month. So just like last month, my revenue per download was actually 16 cents less than it was last year. And that's including that huge video sale. So I don't know what that means, if that's a trend or not, but I don't know. I hope it's not a trend. But anyways, let me know in the comments below like how your sales were, or if you've noticed anything like that too. Yeah, also let me know if there's anything else you want me to do a video about, or even talk about a bit more. I'll be happy to look into that. But that actually brings me to my total for the month of April 2022. Now, but before I reveal those final earnings, do me a favor and I'll ask you one last time to give this video a like so that others can help find this content. And if any of my videos have helped you, you can also show your appreciation by either you choosing my affiliate links, or you can even buy me a beer. I appreciate it. All those links are in the description, and thank you in advance. And finally, my totals for April of 2022 were $44.01. That was with 65 downloads and an RPD of 68 cents. You can check out my other channel, Wandering Hartz, or our website, wanderinghartz.com, for more travel-related content, especially stuff that I've done with my wife. Thanks again for watching, and I hope that this video, and these types of videos at least, help inspire you with your own stock photo journey, or even just give you some good information that you can use. And as always, if you find any of this content helpful, please use my links in the description. You know the rest. Like, subscribe, and follow along. Cheers.